from us.
He's not even here.
It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe he wants his run cut from the marathon.
Maybe he's looking for vindication.
I see him in the AFK channel.
Why would he ignore us?
We should just drag him in here. Maybe he's in the middle of a conversation that we shouldn't hear.
That makes it all the more interesting if I drag him in here. Unfortunately, I can't because he's in the AFK channel.
Oh, darn. So, Golden, what do you know about this game?
Well, I know that it is Magical Poppin'. It is a platforming game that I famously cheated in in a speedruns live race.
Is that something you really want to admit?
I will admit it. It's 2015. I need to be honest with myself. That's right. Yeah, I think I was 5 hours into a race and I got up and walked away from my computer. And it turns out that if you walk away from this game for like 30 seconds, it actually games you over and forgets all your progress. So we ended up going into the debug menu to get me back to where I was. And here's Sent. Welcome.
Oh, thank goodness.
And here's Sent. Welcome.
We're about to cut your game from the marathon because you... We're about to cut your game from the marathon because you were late.
Don't you know the importance of being on time?
Before we start, I see a couple of people are wondering who I am. So, I'm Used Pizza. I like to speedrun a lot of games. I speedrun Kirby at Summer Games Done Quick. And you can follow me at twitch.tv/usedpizza and join the pizza box. Sorry, Golden. I needed to.
You have to do what you have to do.
I have to say, there's no place I'd rather be at 2 a.m. with my good friends Golden, Crimmy Doodle, and Anime.
Anime is everyone's friend.
And Anime is the best friend.
Well, look, I mean, you gotta do whatever it takes to stream big, and I just thought I was helping my pal Used by allowing him to read donations. Is that okay?
I'm actually really flattered that you asked.
Is my my audio setup giving off any echo?
I thought, yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're getting some echo, Crimmy.
Okay.
Are you okay with doing like a push to talk?
I'm just gonna put on headphones.
Okay, that works too. While we're waiting, Use Pizza,
Okay.
Are there any other donations?
Let's check. Unfortunately, no. You know, Stream Chat, I can't read donations if you don't donate. And we have a couple of donation incentives, like the name for Dragon Quest III, and there are several slots left over for Final Fantasy VI to have your name in there. Dragon Quest has to be in Japanese, though.
All right.
Japanese is hard. So are we good?
Crimmy,
someone-
are you alive?
Is someone drop expensive jewelry?
Are you dead?
Now this is really anime. I think we just killed someone off screen.
Crimmy?
Okay, I said I would put on headphones, but I will have to go with the push to talk option.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, apparently, are we using your audio? Are you streaming Mumble?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, can you turn the Mumble up?
Sure.
We got some Crimmy fans in the chat. Yo, it's Crimmy by Kidua. I love Crimmy by Raffi.
Can someone say something?
I didn't know I had fans.
Clearly you do. Is Sen alive?
Yeah. Is this any better?
I think this sounds better to me.
Yeah, I bumped it up like 50%, just hoping it sounds better for Cass.
Let us know when you're ready so that we can start. You know, we were waiting for you for a while.
I'm just, waiting for Cass to tell me the audio balance is good.
I've just checked it.
Okay, is it good?
I'm giving it the golden seal of approval.
Alright, that's a good seal of approval.
I approve of the golden seal of approval.
I'll count down from 3 then.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. So this is Magical Poppin'. It's pretty anime.
I like anime.
So do I.
Is this marathon not anime? I thought that's what it was all about.
Well, what does our friend Anime have to say about this marathon being anime?
Well, you know, I do support all things anime because it is practically the digital embodiment of myself. So tell us some things about this game. Why do you run this game?
I picked this game up a couple of years ago. Countdown actually played it back in like 2010 or something for some kind of SDA project where everyone chose a game for somebody else to speedrun. He put his run up on SDA and Chum just saw it and he was like, "Sent, this looks fun and it looks anime." And you like things that are fun in anime. And I mean, really, that's pretty much it. I've just stuck with it for a couple of years. It's a pretty good speed game. It's fast, has a lot of variety in weapon usage. The main character is voiced by an ex-adult comedic video star.
We're supposed to save that for the end of the game so that no one leaves in the middle of it.
Oh, you've already gotten the most fun fact of all, so...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So, what is the plot behind this game?
That's a really good question.
You don't know?
As far as we could tell, the generic evil wizard steals the generic evil magical artifact, and for some reason the princess has to go stop him. She has no name, she is just the princess.
Can we name the princess Scent? Princess Scent.
You can. It'd be kind of creepy, but hey, go for it. I'm down for that.
That sounds pretty good to me.
So yeah, you just kind of jump, slide, and bounce your way through 6 levels of penguins and bats.
And anime.
And anime. So here's the first boss of the game. Something important about bosses is you always want to kill them low to the ground. Kirby, you want to explain why while I,
Yeah, so, if you'll notice, after he kills this boss, and any boss in the game, really, it will have this exploding animation where it explodes dramatically and slowly falls to the bottom of the screen. And because of that, the game has to wait for a boss to fall all the way off screen before it loads the next room, so you want to kill every boss as low to the ground as possible. Are you gonna go marathon safe, or
I'm going marathon safe. We're not
Okay.
doing the sub-pixel perfect frame perfect thing. No.
So you learned from CFB then.
Okay, so in this next room coming up, you will be damage boosting off of an enemy in order to perform a sequence break. There's actually a jump that you can perform, but it's very tricky and it only works on 1 out of 3 frames.
You need to hit a specific pixel on 1 out of 3 frames, and that's not fun. I wish Kirk was here because he's the only person in existence who mechanically understands this game. But Pompin is really strange because essentially it runs at 60 FPS, but only checks things once every 3 frames, so it effectively runs at 20.
So, by taking that damage boost he did earlier, he walked backwards into that room, which was supposed to hold a boss. But because he went backwards through it, it didn't actually load the boss, and it allowed him to just take its item immediately.
It's actually a different room. When you beat the boss, the game...
I'm pretending it's the same room for simplification, but yes.
Yeah, when you beat the boss in that room, the game actually teleports you into an identical-looking room with a door.
Yeah, so that gave him the grappling hook, which is a very interesting item, allows him to swing off of those grapple points, and hopefully not fall and lose time in embarrassing ways.
I have a quick donation. We
Go for
have
it.
$5.02 from Buzzard saying, it's yourself. It's
Hey.
yourself.
Well, it is Princess Cent now.
Oh, right.
Thanks, anime.
You're welcome.
How does it feel to know that Anime herself has dubbed the princess with your name?
It fills me with a warm, fuzzy feeling that I can really only get from anime.
That's a little weird. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe we shouldn't name it Scent anymore.
So, this boss is... We don't know what this thing is. We really don't know what this thing is. It's like a durian, combined with a moth. I tried to do something really silly there.
Why is it at half a heart?
Because I accidentally... I tried to, basically, if you cancel a sword slash into the laser, you can turn around during it, and make the laser come out of her back. I tried to do that, but I ran up a little too close and hit it with the sword. So I lost time to unnecessary swag.
Good job.
I am now Trihex.
Do you have the APM to match Trihex?
Maybe. We'll find out.
I am sensing 151 APM as you ride these platforms. I think you're good.
So Kremi, do you want to talk about this giant skull and why it's terrible?
What part about it exactly? That it's RNG as hell and you don't know how to...
No, not...
Wait,
that's...
is it... I'm not actually sure where you're going with that.
Oh. Yeah, this boss is, it's really annoying. It requires a very precise series of movements, to fight optimally. Basically everything you do in terms of movement influences how it moves and how it attacks, and I messed up the manipulation there, so now I just kind of have to wing it, which is really unfortunate. Although honestly, for having to wing it, that wasn't too bad. Also, you can walk on this wall.
You can also walk on the other wall.
Yeah.
But going back to what he was saying about using his own movements to manipulate enemy movement, that's actually true of pretty much every enemy in the game. A lot of boss fights are very specifically planned out in order to force the bosses to use a certain set of movements that allow him to kill them in optimal fashions.
What Kermie said, and also most enemies in this game, including bosses, respect an invisible hit counter that ticks up based on a lot of things, but the primary way we manipulate it is by using our sword to strike objects. So later in the game, you're going to see me manipulate some enemies to do things, and the reason they do it is because I smacked my sword against a wall a couple of times. I'm gonna take an intentional death here, so I need to get my health down to 1 heart.
Yeah, he'll be death warping to save himself some time in backtracking some rooms.
Also gives me 20 stars. You get
Yes.
20 stars every time you die, which is... Oh, whoops, I slid. That room actually lines up way too perfectly if you come out of it and just hold right, but it is 2 a.m., I'm doing commentary, and I am not thinking, so I'm overcomplicating the game. But it doesn't matter, because we take a death here anyway.
Overcomplicating the game. I do that without sleep deprivation.
Yeah, so he went over all the way to get the ice power up, which allows him to freeze that fire. And does that power ever get used again?
Yes, it has 2 more uses.
For the same purpose, though.
Yeah, it gets used 3 times to do that, making it the second most useless power-up in the game. Next to fire, which is used once immediately after we get it, and then never touched again.
And even then, it's only used once in RTA.
Right, the task actually gets to skip it, but,
Except that there's no task.
fair enough. Well, that's not true, Kermie. There's a Japanese task.
The one that's like 35 minutes long.
I don't think it's that bad, but it is very outdated.
These guys are Dalton.
They are Dalsum. This boss is awful. This boss is the reason we really need a task in this game.
Yeah, so Sent has been just for years wanting to find wanting a task to figure out if there's a way to improve this boss because of what we mentioned earlier about how bosses have to very slowly explode down the bottom of a screen before you can continue on with the game. Sent has never actually found a way. Sent and like other runners who have explored this game have never actually found a way to kill this boss at the bottom of the screen. They've only managed to kill him at the top. So potentially there's a lot of time to be saved by figuring out, if possible, how to get that boss not to die at the top of the screen, because look how long this explosion is. What is this? Rock Band X2?
It's also just a really obnoxious boss because the optimal way to fight him keeps changing. Right now, it's based on rocking the screen back and forth very quickly to try and bounce him off the walls and get him to show his faces, but the timing and positioning are very precise and change every time you do it based on your own movements. So it's a really hard boss to do consistently. That didn't lose too much time, but it could have been better.
So, can I ask a question?
You just did.
Well, can I ask another one that isn't this one?
You may ask a question, Anime.
Why is this game called Magical Poppin'? I mean,
That's
there's some magic, but I don't see any poppin'.
I think that's a pretty big pop right there, as she does the bomb super power-up.
You know, to be honest, it's a good question. But not all questions have answers. Most of them do, but not this one.
They do on Jeopardy.
They do. Does anyone know Alex Trebek? He might have the answer.
So this game pretty much just has everything. I just saw Kamehameha, and they have Dawson.
And penguins. Penguins are the main villains.
An anime.
Oh. And anime.
Let's see if I can get the strap to this room. Ah, I missed the jump. If you have a really well-timed jump there, you can get on top of those heads and then damage boost over to the door. It saves like half a second. Just looks cool when you do it though. Theoretically, the TAS has actually found a way to get across this room without spawning the ice at the end, which means you don't ever have to go over here and get fire, but it's very difficult to do in real time. Also, that jellyfish is really nice. Thanks, jellyfish.
Yeah, so he mentioned before about manipulating enemy patterns by striking objects with his sword. So by hitting the ceiling with his sword the right number of times, he convinces the jellyfish to press the button for him that opens the door. Otherwise, you have to walk to the right of the room and push a block onto the switch, which takes a few extra seconds.
Jellyfish.
So, speaking of everything, we have Frosty the Snowman. He's a boss in this game. I mean, why not? Yeah. He even gets clothes when the lightning strikes him. Like, that's some impressive magical lightning.
Is that a portrait of a snowman? Wait, are those penguins? They don't look like penguins.
Clearly, you just haven't seen enough anime penguins.
They look like dinosaurs.
Sorry if I'm being a little quiet. This room is kind of stressful.
This part of the game in general is kind of stressful.
Yeah, this is why it's stressful, because now I'm off cycle and I have to wait a little bit.
Earlier in the room, there's a switch that spawns some platforms to allow you to reach that door, but it's faster for him to take the damage boost onto those spiked blocks and jump up from there. It's a little risky, though.
You do not have the health to make a mistake, so I just wanted to make sure I had it right.
About the health bar in this game, so in the first stage, he picked up one heart container. You start off with 3 in the game, and then you can collect another, I believe 5 more are in the game.
6 more. There's one in each stage.
Did you find one in stage 6?
There is one in stage 6.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. But a lot of them are very out of the way. Even the one that he gets, he only really gets it for damage boosting rather than survival purposes. So if you're playing this game casually, you'll probably have about 6 or 7 hearts by the time you finish the game, but the 4 that he has will be the only hearts that he will have for the rest of the game.
So, someone in the chat just said the game costs like $200.
$300
Yes.
to $400 depending on condition, and it's expensive.
It's
Why?
it's expensive. It probably had a very short print.
Well, anime, I can actually explain that at the very end of the game. You'll understand.
But yeah, I went through a period of like a year or two where anytime I thought I'm gonna check eBay for Magical Poppin', I would just immediately open eBay and search Magical Poppin'. Eventually, I did manage to find a card of Poppin' that was not priced at 250 plus. It was just an auction, set your own price, and ended up picking it up for about 120.
Yeah, Kurt spotted me a little extra, and I picked it up for about 120.
When I search Poppin', it just comes up with Poppin' music.
Yeah,
Which is also an expensive game. Down.
$14? Are you poor?
Well, I mean the controller. You can't play Poppin' music with a keyboard now. Come on. I wound up with an extra half heart of health, which is a little awkward, because we do another death warp here, both for stars and because it takes a little while to get out of the room. We get stuck in after getting the Sonic power-up. That is what I'm choosing to call this. It turns her into Sonic. I mean,
the comparison is pretty obvious. She's blue, she spins, and she's very fast.
She is very fast.
Sonic?
I mean, Sonic is also anime.
The Sonic power-up also allows you to spin up walls. Although, really, you don't actually need the Sonic power-up to get through the room before this. But if you use a super pogo jump to get into this room without the Sonic power-up, then you're just kind of stuck at the bottom until you die.
Yeah, you can soft lock yourself in here if you come in without the power-up. It's not intentional that you are able to do so, but you can. I don't recommend it.
I have a $4.20 donation from Queen who says, "Yo, anyway, let me get that OKC account, Sir Shades." Well, I don't have an OKC account, but I do live in your heart, if you like anime. So I don't live in CFG's heart, but hopefully yours.
Wow, even with that sentiment, I mean, I didn't know used pizza was so evil.
Well, CFB threw me in the trash can. He didn't want me.
How could you, CFB? How could you throw away anime?
Listen to how sad you have made anime.
So anyway, that was like a Gundam or something. We're really not sure what that boss is supposed to be, but it's not smart, that's for sure. You can get him to just keep jumping across the room and doing nothing. This room is amazingly laggy. I'm playing on cartridge. You know, I thought this was emulator lag at one point. It's not. The game just runs this slow.
There's a lot of things moving and spinning in this room, and the game really isn't happy about that.
Along with some detailed backgrounds and like a heat effect on the room. The game is just really not happy about everything going on. Speaking of weird bosses, this is a mechanical ostrich from Sparkster. Yeah.
I just saw Jerry. There's a Jerry in this one too. Like, you know the mouse? Well, since I killed the conversation, I guess I'm going to go ahead and talk about donations, right? Okay. So we have character names for Dragon Quest III where you can donate to have the main character name. Right now we have $10 for Bob Ross, $55 for Jinkle, and $208.98 for Twig. For Final Fantasy VI, we have about 10 characters that the speedrunners will use, and we have $10 for me, Anime, $20 for Yuna, $5 for Happy, $5 for Trees, and $10 for Zoma. So there are a couple of spaces left, so you can donate.
Okay, well, Sent is now entering the final stage. This stage is quite a maze. If you come in here blind, you can very easily get lost and start walking in loops, and it can be pretty awful. Of course, this is a speed run, so just take the direct path and don't care.
Yeah, there's actually a bunch of unused bosses that you can go fight in this stage too if you really want. Like there's a Dracula boss. I'm not gonna fight him, but hey, if you want to.
Why aren't you going to fight him?
He's really far out of the
Because
way
it's-
and he's very slow.
Sounds very anti-speedrun.
It certainly is. Hopefully I get this next room here in one cycle. I'd be really happy if I did. Oh, I should not have gone for it. Crap, I'm actually in a lot of trouble here. Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
I have to
Well,
restart stage 6.
At least it's pretty early in the stage, so.
Yeah. Long story short, you can get that room in a single cycle. I mixed it by half a second right there. And unfortunately, the laser that chases you if you miss it is incredibly accurate. So that lost me about a minute. Maybe I shouldn't have gone for it in a marathon setting. I don't know.
Game over. Anime ruined.
Well, I've ruined anime, everybody.
It's okay, anime has infinite continues.
So this is what happens when you don't use safe strats.
Yeah, sometimes you die. This stage is really scary with 4 hearts because essentially you need these bunnies to drop some health for you. And they're usually pretty nice about it, but... crap. They can be jerks. Like right there, they were pretty jerks. So I have to take a little slower strat through the room. And unfortunately this room is very laggy and things are just not going well for me today, anime.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, that's a thing.
So yeah.
When was the last time you've been through these rooms?
A very long time ago, which is kind of an issue, but thankfully I'll have full health for them. So you really don't want to fall down here. This is, like Kermie said, this stage has a ton of alternate paths, and this is one of the worst ones. It's basically just loops you around and puts you back in the main path after like 30 seconds of wasted time. So I'm sorry, Magical Poppin' fans. I'm sorry, anime. I have failed you today like I failed you yesterday in Robo-chan.
Doom Chicken says, sent please.
I'm sorry, Doom. I have failed you as well.
I think Kermie died.
Yeah. I killed him with my shame to anime. This is a good boss. This is an auto-scroller, so if you have donations...
This auto-scroller gives me time to respawn.
Well, right now we don't have any donations. If people gave me donations, then I'd read them for you.
Who doesn't want anime to read donations?
Sigh.
So yeah, this boss, you just have to wait around for it to attack, because if you don't attack it while it's attacking, then it puts up a shield, or wait, no, it doesn't put up a shield, it runs away, and you can't hit it.
No, you're right, it puts up a shield too. Even if you can get in range without making it run away, it'll put up a shield and block. So you just...
Well,
Yep.
the point is, you can't attack it unless it's attacking, so, yeah, you just kind of have to wait for it to start attacking, and then you can attack it, and then you wait for it to start attacking again. It's a very interesting boss.
Is he a bug? He looks kind of like a bug.
He could be. I mean, we call him the Wizard.
The wizard.
The
The
Wizard.
Red Wizard.
We're really not creative with our names.
The Wizard,
Whoa.
the Princess, we really aren't.
Okay, I just got stuck in the spiked pillar. That's actually never happened before. I can be completely honest about that one.
Well then.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that one. So anyway, this is Red Wizard's brother, Blue Wizard. He's the exact opposite. He won't do anything unless you run at him. So many people, after figuring out that in that first boss fight you have to do nothing, try to do nothing against this guy, and nothing happens. Always funny to watch.
So, Crimmy, do you run this game too?
I used to run it a very, very long time ago, back when speedruns of this were bad, and then back when I ran this, we took a very different route through this stage because had no idea what we were doing. Honestly.
Did you just call anime bad?
No. Like, why would I ever call anime?
Okay, that's what I thought.
So yeah, that room runs at like 10 FPS, and there's, I think, a single frame where you can roll up the wall there right when you enter the room, and it saves about 6 seconds to get it, but because the room is just so laggy and it like changes its frame rate constantly, it can be really hard to find the exact frame you need to roll up the wall. Thankfully, we're almost done getting to the last two bosses here. First up, we have a refight against this thing. It's still not very smart.
You just said he's not smart, but he just hit you. What does that mean for you?
Well, I never said I was smart. Let's be honest here.
You never did say that. It's true.
I guess so. What are you talking about? Of course I'm real. Of course anime is real.
Anime is real in all of our hearts. You just have to believe it.
Except CFBs.
Except CFBs.
Except CFBs.
So here we are at the final boss of the game, Iceman. Seriously, he has Ice Slasher from Mega Man 1. That's
Looks like
his attack
Castlevania.
pattern. You know, it's definitely, he's got a Dracula feel to him too. You know, he's got the fancy clothes and the fancy throne. And he actually does one of Dracula's attacks too, but we'll never see it because he just doesn't ever want to use it.
Don't forget to warn about time.
I certainly will. Time is the last hit on this final boss coming up.
Which will be after this transformation.
So in true anime fashion, you know, he sacrifices himself to the evil magical crystal and becomes this. And now I need to be quiet so I can time this out.
Yeah, okay, so what's happening here is this boss has two sets of invincibility cycles. It has normal iframes, and it does this thing where it closes its core. If you actually manage to hit it as it opens its core again, it only triggers iframes and does not close its core again. So he throws bombs with very specific timings so that their explosion is active as the core opens, so that he can get that immediate hit, and basically it allows him to get 2 hits in one cycle because it cuts the amount of times that he closes his core in half.
So does jumping in the corner do anything?
It helps him time when to throw the bombs, but I don't believe it technically does anything. I think it's entirely just a personal timing cue.
Yeah, Crimmy said it right. It's just how I time. Oh, this is bad. These fireballs are very bad. They will go under the screen to hunt you down.
Yeah, his normal manipulation for this boss causes it not to use those fireballs, but since he didn't quite get...
I missed one cycle, so yeah, the whole thing is messed up, unfortunately. But time's gonna be here in just a second. As you can see, these fireballs are really awful time. They come at you from all angles. Under the floor, they wall you.
Die after the last hit.
You can't. The fireballs disappear.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, that was not good, but that was Magical Poppin'. Real quick, there's something like a minute into the credits. If we can take a minute to look at them.
Do I have time to read a quick donation?
Oh yeah, go
Yes.
for it. We have a minute.
We have a $5.02 donation from Boar, who thinks he's really smart in donating with the comment to, but unfortunately, I'm not going to give him the pleasure of hearing it.
Wow.
Or we respect you for trying. We respect you for trying to get anime to say it.
Maybe if he donates again, then I'll say it. I'll think about it.
Wow. Extortion, the anime.
Anime needs more money.
I mean, have you seen what UFO Table's been working on? Clearly they do.
I think Used Pizza's got a business idea going here. Maybe if you donate one more time.
Charlie Brown is up there in the corner. We don't know why.
He's there.
He's there. And now he's covered up by the speech bubble.
But yeah, as the credits are rolling real quick, because there's something interesting to show at the end of them that explains everything, it is worth pointing out that the voice of the princess in this game is Aejima, who was a Japanese adult video comedic actress. Let your mind wander as to whatever that means. Who turned into a talk show hostess later in her life. This is the only video game she ever gave her voice for. In fact, I believe this is the only animated media she gave her voice for. So that's just some really interesting random trivia about this game.
Do we have time for another donation?
Hold on. So yeah, the reason this game is so weird is because it was made in the develop tent. Develop tent. They did not spell check the credits.
They couldn't afford an office.
Anyway, go ahead. That's Magical Poppin', guys. Thanks for watching it.
Thank you for running it. Thank you for representing me.
And I hope everyone appreciated the hat hide hidden at the top of the screen.
Thank you, Anime, for watching over his run.
One, two, three, who I'm not entirely sure if he knows that you have to link Twitch so we can see your information. But anyway, it says, "Hi Anime, could you tell us a story about dogs? I really like dogs. Thanks." Boney. Oh, I mean, D-Dog fan. 1, 2, 3. I like dogs, but I think that's a story that Scent should tell you instead.
Dogs are very anime. I should tell you guys about that time I watched a dog anime.
Anime the verb.